Hey friends, Kylie here, your host of Dream On with Kylie O'Miller, back for the KO17 athlete season of the Dream On podcast. I am so excited to be here today for another episode with current Virginia Tech lacrosse standout, one of our KO17 sponsored athletes, and someone whose motivation is incredibly contagious. Thank you as always for tuning in. These episodes are recorded from a live Zoom webinar that I hold through the KO17 lacrosse app and are constructed into this Dream On podcast that you have found here. I hope you are gaining some insight from these episodes from some of the people that I have met throughout my lacrosse journey that have imposed so much of their wisdom on me. If you're loving our episodes so far, please show us some love in the reviews and rate us 5 stars. Also, be sure to SUBSCRIBE. It would mean the world to us. All right, we've got another special guest this week, and I am so pumped to get right into it. Liv Vergano is one of the stars in the ACC right now, playing as an attacker and draw specialist for the Virginia Tech Hokies. Liv is someone I've known since her high school days on Long Island when she decided to convert from a longtime softball player to picking up a lacrosse stick in 9th grade. During this conversation, we talk about her mentality behind never believing that it's too late to pursue your passions, the work ethic that has gotten her to where she is, and how everything happens for a reason. Liv is inspiring young players all over the world with her natural-born competitive fire that sticks out on any lacrosse field. She is never not going hard. And from this episode, we learn that she has persevered through so many changing situations in her life because of those traits. I hope you get as inspired as I do listening in to this convo with All-American Liv Vergano. Hi, everybody. It's Kylie O'Miller. Welcome back to the Dream On podcast. I'm here with Liv Vergano. She plays at Virginia Tech. She is a KO17 athlete. She is a midfielder and a draw specialist at Virginia Tech. She's from West Babylon, New York. She played for Top Guns, and she's an All-American as a sophomore. So I'm excited to kind of dive in with Liv today and just kind of go through some of what took her to where she is today and what's motivating her to get to her next levels of success. So Liv, welcome to the Dream On podcast. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So we always like to start off to a good start. For reference, everybody, this is probably the earliest we've ever done a Dream On podcast, but me and Liv are pretty busy, so we will make exceptions. It is Friday, January 26th. At 8:40 in the morning. So we're waking up and getting right to it today. So tell us something that you're thankful for so far today.
I think just getting the opportunity to go hang out with my friends at practice and, get a great 2.5 hour practice in today. It's definitely something I'm looking forward to and thankful I have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a really cool conversation right now because we're in the midst of your preseason heading into your junior year. So a lot to unpack and a lot of excitement. So I think this is a really fun time to be recording this podcast. Well, it's only 8:40 in the morning, but is there something that you're proud to say that you've accomplished so far today?
I made a great breakfast.
Ooh, what'd you have?
So I made a protein smoothie. So there's some mixed fruit in there, like mango, pineapple with some vanilla protein powder. And then I made some egg whites with peppers and mushrooms.
Wow. TJ would be so proud. I hope you're listening to this, TJ.
I know, right?
TJ, for those of you listening, is our performance coach that we both work together with, and he also runs our nutrition. So I love that. That's a perfect breakfast. All right, what's something you're pumped to chase? Could be today, could be within the next couple weeks, could be this year. What are you pumped to chase?
I think just a season, going out and really making an impact and competing in the ACC. Just looking ahead, we really want to make a run in the NCAA tournament and honing in on that, just making it to the tournament. So just really putting our best foot forward in preseason and continuing to work really hard in the season.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch. I mean, anytime I see one of those one of your games on TV, I always put it up on my phone or in the corner or something. It's always so fun to follow you. So I'm excited to see how it goes. What's the team vibe heading into preseason? Tell us a little bit about where you guys are at right now in terms of how long ago did you start? It's January 26th. And then when your first game is and what the team vibe is like right now.
Yeah, so we started about a week and a half ago. So we're like coming up on the end of our first 2 weeks, which is great. Our first game is February 10th, so we're right in the middle. So we're like 2 weeks out. Um,
Ooh.
I think team-wise, like our chemistry is stronger than ever. We're all like best friends, which is like crazy. Like there's no drama. And on a team of 46, 45, like I don't think it's like a lot of teams can say that.
Mhm.
So I think that's really special about this team specifically. And yeah, just we're really excited. I think like stick work looks great. I think just like our skills are like practices have been going really well. So we're really excited to get going.
That's fun. I think that's really cool that you said that too. Like that is pretty rare. That's a lot of girls in one locker
Mhm.
room, a lot of girls all competing for playing time too, right? So
Mhm.
it's really special to have those friendships. So I think that's really cool that you mentioned that. And I think that's gonna also lead to some success this season for you guys. What in terms of like if you're telling me I'm a younger player and I ask you like, okay, what does college lacrosse even mean? Like, what does it mean? What do you have to do every single day? Like, what does a typical day in your life look like right now?
Right now, since we have practice in the afternoon, classes are in the morning. So like today I only have one class, but Tuesday, Thursdays I have two back to back, and then I head right over to the facilities. Um, grab a quick snack or like quick meal up in our performance center, which is a great additive that like us here at Virginia Tech get to have, and then go get changed for practice, go out for 2.5, 3 hour practice, depending on if we have practice and conditioning or practice lift. And then after that, like we're really honing in on recovery. So like my teammate Liz and I have been like ice bathing and sauning every day. So we'll like hit the sauna first for about 15 minutes and then we'll go ice bath. And we're doing a little fun challenge right now where we like go in up to our necks and like 40-degree ice bath temperature, and we see how long we could stay in there. So
How
we're
long's
working,
the
we're
longest
working
so
up
far?
those times.
How long's the longest so far?
2 minutes.
Nice. That's
Yeah, it's really cold.
That's impressive. I was not an up to the neck kind of girl. So,
Yeah,
but
it's
honestly, if I could go the other way though, like if I could go head first into the ice bath, I think I'd be better. It's always my feet and my ankles that kill me in there.
yeah, we
But
do like the first like 7 minutes just up to our hips, and then like the last, 2 to 3 minutes we try and tough it out.
okay, okay, I like it. A little like ice plunge going on after
Mhm.
practice. I think that's really important too. Like that's obviously something you and I work on a lot with TJ, like
Mhm.
we mentioned, right? Is that recovery aspect. But how do you feel like that's helped elevate your game in terms of just taking care of your body?
Yeah, I definitely think recovery is so important, whether that's like preventing soreness or injury. I know for soreness, like our lifts have been like super intense and like really rigorous, like especially because we're in preseason, we're trying to build that muscle up since being away on winter break. Um, so I think just like preventing soreness and being able to put your best foot forward every day, like so you don't have to like be like, oh, I like feel like I'm carrying bricks today, or like it's gonna happen, but like doing everything in your power to either like Normatec, ice bath, sauna, prevent that soreness is gonna allow you to really put your best foot forward every day.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And like piece that you mentioned too is like, yeah, the sore days are still gonna happen.
Mhm.
And it's not like don't give up on it then. It's like, oh, it didn't work because I'm still sore, so let me never do it again. Like I think
Yeah,
that's a
you probably
yeah.
would be even more sore.
Exactly. So it's like almost like a practice, right? It's something that you got to add into like your daily routine, whether you feel sore already or you don't. It's like a preventative measure to keep your body going for the long term. So, I think that's really cool that you mentioned that that's a part of your everyday routine. What
Mhm.
you mentioned you have a couple classes throughout the week. What are you studying at Virginia Tech, and what types of classes are you taking this semester?
So my major is sports media analytics, and then I'm minoring in business. So this spring, I'm taking two business classes. One's like an entrepreneur and innovation class, and the other one's a management class. I'm taking a multimedia reporting class, which is like really cool. It's really based on like video and like text. So like that's pretty cool to like do yourself. And then I'm taking two electives. One is drug education, so it's
Good.
good to know. And then the other one's helmet design. It's
Ooh,
like basically like yeah, like you get to know and like research all the different types of helmets. So we're only up to like chapter 4 right now because school kind of just started. But there was one of like hockey helmets and like the different types of padding in it and like how it prevents concussions. And it's just really cool to see because like especially being an athlete and like seeing what goes into all of it. So really interesting.
That's really cool. Very like specific type electives
Mhm.
and a really cool major as well. I'm excited to see like what you end up doing with that when you get a little bit older like me. But but I think that's really, really cool. And just like also goes to show too, like we didn't have any of those types of classes at Stony Brook,
Mhm.
right? And we didn't, I don't even think we had that major specifically either. So like goes to show like that's a good piece to look into when you're looking at colleges. If you're getting
Mhm.
recruited and you're listening to this, like there are different schools that offer different things that you might be interested in just in terms of studying. It's not always just about the lacrosse. So just something to kind of look into as you guys go through that process if you're listening. All right, let's take it all the way back. Let's take it back to little Liv. He grew up in West Babylon. So that's
Mhm.
about, you know, 10, 15 minutes from where I grew up, in Islip. And what was your introduction to sports in general like when you were younger?
I think I played every sport imaginable. I think like from 3 years old, like my parents both played collegiate sports and they were coaches, so I was always around sports. My mom still says if I have a ball in my hand, I need it taken away from me because I won't stop throwing it around.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I played soccer from 3 to all the way up to my senior year of high school. I played basketball till I was a senior in high school. I was just really playing every sport that like imaginable, and I think that like really helped me like in the long run, like
Mhm.
um whether that's collegiately or like in my recruiting process. I think just like the general understanding of like sports and competitiveness. Yeah, I think it's like really important to like do a lot of sports, like if you're like into that.
Yeah, I think something that, our listeners might not know about you that I know very well is that you're a massive competitor uh,
Hmm.
in everything that you do. It could be the silliest little like
Board
board game.
game. Yep.
Yep.
Mm.
We haven't even played board games together, but I know that you would be like, very intense about it. But that's just the kind of person Liv is. And that has to stem from, all of these sports that you played in this environment that you grew up around, right? It's just like almost in your DNA to want to win
Mhm.
and want to be great at things. So talk us through, I think this is a really unique part of your story as well, is like talk us through how you eventually found lacrosse, right, in your sports journey,
Mhm.
and what made you fall in love with it.
Yeah, so I didn't start playing lacrosse until my freshman year of high school. I really found it. All my friends played lacrosse. I played softball competitively, varsity in seventh and eighth grade, and then I was on like an 18U team when I was still that age. But yeah, like all of my friends played lacrosse in high school, and they were like, "Oh, I love it! Like it really, like it's like everything. It's soccer, like running around. It's basketball with breaking down your feet and like concepts and." Um, I don't know, I just like really love like running around like a little kid. Like even still like running around in the midfield in between the 30s. Like I'm like, oh, like you're just running around for like fun. But ultimately like what made me fall in love with it is like I loved soccer and basketball so much. Like basketball is like probably like, my favorite sport still. Like I love, love, love basketball. So I started out as a defender. So like like understanding the concepts of lacrosse was really similar to basketball and like even now being like an offensive player, like the moves of like basketball moves like offensively is like really similar to like your footwork on offense in lacrosse too. So I think just like all around like lacrosse was like the sport that I found like the most enjoyment with like because of the combinedness of the other sports that I loved.
Yeah, I think that's really cool too, because obviously you one learned so much from the other sports that you were able to add into your game, but it also helped you like, and this is going into my next question, but it helped you like quickly understand the game of lacrosse,
Hmm.
right? Like even though you might have felt late to the game, quote unquote,
Hmm.
right? Getting there in ninth grade compared to everybody else. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, can you talk about like what advice you might have for someone who's, maybe at that age or even later, and they're like, I want to try lacrosse. It looks really cool. Um, but they might feel like it's quote unquote too late to start. What's your advice for them?
Yeah, so I say it's never too late.
Yeah.
I think that's a given, but Yes, I started late, but like also like you said, like starting later than I did. My sister Riley, like she actually plays like in Tennessee. She's a goalie and she started her sophomore year in the spring. My senior year I needed a goalie for my high school team and like she's like, "Oh, I'll jump in." I was like, "Oh, okay, Riley." Um and then ultimately she fell in love with lacrosse too and it really got her to play collegiately as well. So, I say it's never too late and if you really want to work for something you got to work hard for it, hit the wall, like do the little things that will really make a big difference in ultimately in your career and your life.
Yeah, definitely. I think something cool you mentioned there was like the little things. And I think specifically for the sport of lacrosse, like obviously every
Hmm.
sport has their little fundamentals and things that you want to build up. But what were some of those things when you first started, like in your high school years, that took you a little bit longer to develop and you realized that you had to spend more time on? Was it the stick work? Was it maybe, understanding the rules? Like what were something like that was a little
I would
bit.
definitely say both of those things. Like I hit the wall every single day for at least half an hour. So like starting so late, like you needed to learn both like your right and left hand if you really wanted to like develop like and quickly there was really no like quote unquote time for me to be like, oh, like I don't have a right hand or a left hand.
Right.
So I think just hitting the wall and watching like my teammates do wall ball or like asking them for their routine and like um starting to work with you around my sophomore year um was like really like the difference maker. And I also think like understanding the rules, like really watching the game, like asking questions. um like you're not gonna really understand the rules unless like you don't like pay attention. So like standing on the sideline like my freshman year, like I was like really in tune and like if the ref like made a call I didn't understand, like I would be like, hey coach, like sorry, but like why did he call that? Like just asking questions and being like a student of the game. Like even now, like I'm still like learning stuff like every day, like especially with all these rule changes now. Um but I think ultimately just like asking questions and like wanting to grow your knowledge of it is like really going to make the difference in like the little things too, along with stick work.
I like how you tied that all together too, because I think asking questions is a great way to one learn. And I feel like sometimes we get to a certain point where we're like, oh, I don't have to ask questions anymore. I'm good.
Hmm.
Like I kind
Yeah.
of, but you're at a level, you're playing, Division One in the ACC and you're
Mhm.
the best player on your team. Like how, and you're still asking questions every single day.
Mhm.
You're still trying to grow your knowledge. You're still trying to add to your arsenal like that. I think is something that our listeners should really take to heart is like never stop asking those questions because you can continue
Mhm.
to grow.
Yeah, my
Um,
coach is still like, don't overthink it, stop asking questions. Like just go out and have fun and play. And I'm like, but yeah, but I want to understand.
yeah.
Like, so I think finding that line of, going back and watching film and, like getting that like bird's eye point of view from the film and you can see so many different things from that as well.
Yeah. Hey guys, Kylie here. A short break from our conversation to remind you to check in on our social channels. You can find little snippets from our episodes on Instagram at dream.on_pod. And if you're a lacrosse stud looking for a unique way to train and develop into the best version of yourself, like our guest here most definitely has, check out the KO17 Lacrosse app in the App Store. That's KO17 Lacrosse. And at DREAM period ON_POD on Instagram. Come join the fam and we can keep dreaming on together. Okay, enough of that. We back. Yeah, I love that. Going back to your high school experience. So you ended up, in high school, ended up playing for Top Guns
Mhm.
on Long Island. What do you think your time like playing for Top Guns helped you prepare for in terms of, getting ready for big games, big moments, getting in front of maybe a little bit higher competition than you were used to, like all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah, so unfortunately I played when COVID happened.
Mm.
So I didn't really like get to like have like your like quote unquote travel team like experience. Um so yeah, I didn't really play for them long either because I started like too late as well. But I think ultimately um getting game experience
Yeah.
and like really playing in the game that I was able to like understand the rules more, or ask the coaches questions there as well, like a fresh perspective from high school, and like the girls I'm playing with there, like getting to mesh with different personalities and um different like styles of play. So I think like that's my biggest takeaway from Top Guns.
Yeah, I think that's important too. And like something we see a lot with younger players is they are on one team, like a town team, right? And then you end up
Hmm.
playing it out on high school, then you play on a club team,
Hmm.
maybe. And then there's all these different events that go on, right? Showcases, camps, things like that. You end up
Hmm.
playing with players you've never played with before, and you're
Hmm.
expected to play your best. So that aspect that you were just mentioning of just kind of like being in different scenarios, learning how to work with different personalities, learning how to work in different kind of styles of the game. I think that's a really important factor. And just like, I know that you were open to learning about it because you were asking so many questions. So I love that. Um, Talk about your recruiting process a little bit. So now we're starting to think like, okay, lacrosse is the thing that might, be my next level. Like, when did that come to you, that thought first? And then how did you find Virginia Tech?
Yeah, so I think like definitely wanting to play in college was like the minute I fell in love with lacrosse. So like I would say like really like throughout my freshman year, like high school season, like even going into the fall, like playing with like all those girls, like they were like my best friends, and like I played every other sport with them. So I was like, like why not like play with them? But I think like getting to like understand how like basketball and soccer like really tied in to like lacrosse, like I was like, whoa, like I really want to do this in college, like I love this. And it was definitely like a major decision to happen. um my dad was like, softball, like what's going on, like are you sure about this? And I was like, yeah, like I want to give it a shot. So deciding to like step away from that, and then getting into the recruiting process, I had originally committed to West Point under the same coaching staff that I'm under now, and went through the West Point journey, and wanting to go there until my senior year of high school, where my head coach and now my associate head coach got hired here at Virginia Tech. And they called me up and he was like, "Hey, we really want you to like come and play for us here at Virginia Tech." And I was like, "Whoa." Patriot League compared to ACC, like that's a big difference. I was definitely hesitant, but I ultimately like it was a great opportunity that I couldn't pass up. And if that's something I really wanted to work for, you have to work for it. So that's what I did, put my head down, really grind it out, and ultimately when I got here, um, it was great, and I'm really happy I made my decision, and I'm here playing in the ACC against some of the best people in the country.
Yeah, and having big games against them too.
Hmm.
So that's huge. I love that. That's important for, our listeners to hear too, right? Like sometimes we go through the journey, we find our spot and things happen, like life happens,
Hmm.
right? And you were able to pivot, you were able to adjust. And again, like we're going back to the same theme, but like you asked questions during that
Hmm.
time frame too. It was like, let
Yep.
me lean on the people around me and see if this like, I'm not sure what feels right. Like, let me lean on my family, my friends, my coaches, everything like that. And
Yeah, for
I think you
sure.
did a really, really good job of that in the like a tough moment there. Um, but yeah, so let's talk a little bit about that too. Like something we talk about a lot on the Dream On podcast. We talk about obviously your successes, but
Mhm.
we have to have setbacks in order to have successes. That's just how life
Mhm.
works. That's just how athletics work too, right? Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, can you talk about a couple maybe moments in your lacrosse career that you want to point out as kind of like setbacks or moments of hardship that have gotten you to where you are today?
Yeah, I think just like it's like bittersweet. Like starting lacrosse so late is like definitely an adjustment. Stressful. But it's worth it in the end. So like having that, and I'm fortunate enough to not have like a super big injury ever in my career. Like I hurt my foot, and that's still like a nagging injury that I have to deal with since my freshman year of college. But I think just like adapting to like adversity, and like if you're not like playing great like one day and you're in a slump, just like doing the little things to help you out of that. So like that's where like I take a piece of like my softball like background and like you're gonna get in a hitting slump. So, like going out to the cages or, taking ground balls. So I think just like, yes, you're gonna have hardships, but you have to find the stuff that you enjoy to like help you out of that. So whether that's like taking a 30-minute wall ball session to like debrief and reset, going out, grabbing like one of your best friends on your team and like having a shooting session, but also like having a conversation to help you through that.
Yeah.
Yes, there's been like I'm like fortunate enough that I haven't like faced like many hardships, but like this fall like I lost my grandma, so like that was like a big hardship. So just like finding like the people you can lean on and ultimately the people who can help you through and yeah, that you have a great time playing with.
Yeah. And finding some extra motivation, right, behind some of those
Mhm.
hardships and, maybe some new people to play for a little bit harder, right? So,
Mhm. Totally.
um, I love that. And I think that's important too, just to you mentioned a lot of great examples in there, about, you kind of compared it to like a hitting slump in softball.
Hmm.
That happens in lacrosse all the time, right? I can't hit my shots, or I just feel off for a couple games, or maybe even for the first half of the game. Right? Like you come out and
Yep.
you're like, just not playing to my potential. Like it happens to all of us at every level. What are some like, I guess, little like mental tricks for you, or little mental tips that you would say that gets you snapped back into it? Or like if you're having some moments of self-doubt out on the field, or like you're just making mistake after mistake, like how do you snap back into it? What are some things that you've been working on in like your mindset world,
Hmm.
that helped you kind of get back on top?
Yeah, so mistakes are gonna happen, like totally, like you said, but something for me is that like I'll like take my goggles off, like I'll put them on my forehead, like take like 3 deep breaths, and then I'll put my goggles back on. It's almost like reset, new day. You're
Yeah.
coming out here for the first time, shake it all off. Um,
I
so
like
yeah,
that.
I think like that's something I've been working on is like the goggles. Like my mom, like when my mom's there, like I'll look up in the stands and like we'll make eye contact. She's not there every game, so like I've really got to work on like focusing on myself and how like I can change that. Like my mom's been at mostly every game. I'm fortunate enough to say that. But yeah, like when she's not there, it's like definitely the goggles. Like take the goggles off, balls on defense, reset, you know, and act like
Yeah.
you've been for the first time that day.
Yeah, I think the cool part about that is that like physical reset that reminds
Hmm.
you, right? Like so many times it's like, okay, yeah, I could just walk around and tell myself reset, 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 but that might not actually click in our brains, especially when there's so much going on around us.
Hmm.
Maybe we're losing by 5 and like, we just dropped the
Hmm.
last pass or whatever, like so much happening. So like for you to be able to say, okay, like my taking my goggles off, putting them on my forehead and then putting them back on, that has to mean a physical reset or I'm not going to
Hmm.
do it. You know what I
Yep,
mean?
totally.
Yeah, so I really like that. And I am gonna kind of smile every time I see it now whenever I'm watching
Hmm.
TV. I'm gonna be like, she needs
Hopefully it's not many times, but I'm sure it'll
Listen,
happen.
yeah, listen, and
One
that's
deep
the thing.
reset.
We hope it's not many times, but that's
Hmm.
that's sports. Like games are gonna go back and forth. People are gonna play really well. People are gonna have off days. And it's inevitable. So it's just how we manage it and how we handle
Hmm.
it. So I,
Totally.
I honestly hope that I do see it a good amount. Okay. Because it means there's good things happening on the other side. Um, all right. We have a fun little like one word kind of answer game
Hmm.
here. And we're just going to talk about your values in like what you look for in the people around you, maybe
Hmm.
people, teammates, leaders. But yeah, I want you to give me 3 kind of like traits, or things that you look for in a person. 3 things that you value in a person.
Okay. I would say kindness is one.
Mhm.
Um, Loyalty,
Yeah.
um, and perseverance.
Ooh, good one.
Mhm.
Good one. If you feel like any of these need an explanation, please go into it as well. But I like those first 3. What are the things that you value most in a teammate?
Teammate, I would say trustworthiness,
Hmm.
um, hardworking. Um, you have to be resilient,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna go with fourth one with passion.
I like that. Passion. Okay, what separates a leader from a teammate? What are those values that you look for in a leader?
Commitment for sure. You have to be dedicated. So I guess you can go with both of those. And then communication, I think, is a strong one.
Communication. So you're a leader on your team. What is your best way of communicating? Like some people are super loud and energetic and like to talk to everybody. Some people veer more on the like watch me as I go because I'm gonna put my like walk the walk kind of, right? And follow. What's your style of leading?
I would definitely say communication and like leading by example.
Hmm.
So whether that's like taking a few girls and asking them to do an individual with me, get a small group of 4 to 5 underclassmen, and asking them questions. I feel like it's better to like for them and for me to like explain and ask questions like when it's a smaller group and like it's more personable.
Hmm.
And then on the field, I think it's more of like, hey, like if you need a reset, like just walk over to me, like we'll have a quick conversation, um, reset, and then we go back out there and, kill the drill. Um, or like sevens, whatever we're doing that day. But yeah, I definitely think communication of calling in the plays, being there if they need something. So yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely do both of those.
Super helpful. I think as a teammate to like have that around, right? Especially like when you get to college, like freshman, sophomore year, like especially freshman year, right? It feels
Mhm.
super new and you're just like looking around for some of that help a little bit sometimes. So for you to be that upperclassman and understand that responsibility, I think that's huge. All right. So kind of thinking about like something that you really take into your everyday life, some advice that you've taken from someone in your life, a special person, a mentor, a parent. What's one piece of advice that you've taken from them and you've applied it to your own life?
It's a good question.
Mhm.
I would say everything happens for a reason.
Mhm.
I like literally have it tattooed on me. So I would definitely say that. But yeah, like my grandma had always told me that like growing up my whole life. Like it really like honed in and like sat with me when like my whole switch from softball to lacrosse, army to Virginia Tech, and like pretty much everything in life. Like I go day by day being like, okay, like God
Mhm.
is good and everything happens for a reason. Like he has a plan. So, trusting the process.
Yeah. I love that. I think that's really special. I say that all the time too, but I think it's even cooler that you say it too.
Mhm.
All right. We're flipping the script now. So if someone's watching you play lacrosse or someone's learning from you at a clinic or
Mhm.
someone's following you and like listening to you on an interview, like what is one piece of advice or inspiration that you're hoping that they take from you?
Never give up. Like always fight for like what you want and like whether that's like you really want to play and like you're like the first man sub and you want that starting position, like doing everything in your power to like work for that. I'm a big like work ethic type of person. Like that I think that's like how most people would describe me. Um So I think just like really honing in and like applying that to like every part of your life. Like you want good grades, like or like anything in like school wise, you want to get into like a prestigious college, like really working for it and like maybe you're gonna have to sacrifice a couple things like, oh, like sorry God, like my friends, like, oh, I can't go out tonight or like go to dinner, like I'm gonna do dinner by myself and study.
Yeah.
Like you might have to sacrifice, but ultimately like it'll pay off in the end. And I've seen that like firsthand for me. Like, yes, there's gonna be tough days where you're like, oh, like I wish I can go out or like I want to like have fun with my friends. But if you want to have success and like you want to ultimately like achieve your goals, like it comes with a sacrifice.
Yeah. Beautifully said. I think that's really, really important. That's what all high achievers would probably say, right? It doesn't come without a
Mhm.
price.
Mhm.
Doesn't come without some sort of sacrifice. So, really, really important message there. All right, where do you hope to see lacrosse in general, our sport, in the future? So, like, we're making some awesome strides in general,
Mhm.
right? Like, you guys are all over ESPN in the college game, getting lots of games broadcasted. Sport's going to be in the Olympics in 2028. You know, like where do you hope to see our sport continue to get to in the future? What do you hope continues to add to our game?
Yeah, I hope just like spreading it across the world.
Mm.
Like I know lacrosse is like very big on like in the United States and even in Canada and like now like hoping to like really make like the Olympics competitive, like getting that to like Ireland, Italy, Germany, like countries like that where like lacrosse may not be like the first sport and might not be as popular. So really like spreading that and like getting it to be like super competitive and hopefully like the World Cup, like soccer, like everyone watches the World Cup. So um really getting it to that point where it's like really entertaining for all sets of people.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, what has been your, I'm going to follow up that question, but what's been some of your experiences seeing lacrosse from around the globe so far?
Yeah, well, working with TJ and TBD Lacrosse, I get to travel all around the country, and it's really fortunate. Like California was great, like seeing so many different types of style of play, and even out in Colorado and Florida, Georgia, it's just really cool to see. Like even the South, like it's like lacrosse like really was never like big like growing up, and now
Mhm.
seeing how like we're expanding that and how many girls like really are like playing and entertained in it, really wanted to go play college lacrosse. I think it's like great
Mhm.
and I just can't wait to see that grow even more.
Yeah. All right, cool. What's next in life for Liv? Like what are you dreaming about these days?
Um, I don't know. I think just like staying healthy and like striving for like greatness, like finishing out my 2 years of college and then hoping to get a great job. Whether that's like in the business world or with TBD or maybe coaching. Um, yeah, I'm really up in the air right now.
I think you're allowed to be. You're in college. Oh man. Okay, so we're gonna go through some questions from our KO17 fam. Our KO17 fam was pumped to see you coming on the Dream On podcast. Which I mean, rightfully so. You're one of our awesome KO17 athletes, and we had some great questions too. So we're gonna start off strong with former former lacrosse player and now ESPN broadcast analyst, Dana Boyle. She wrote in and she wants to know, breaking news here. What is the Virginia Tech women's lacrosse team capable of during the 2024 season?
Yeah, I think just like really being competitive within the ACC and making a strong strive in our schedule this year. I think reflecting back, like especially like being on the team the last 2 years, like this team is different. It just feels different. The passion's there, the work ethic's there. We're like really like matching up like against our competitors like really well. Um, so I think yeah, just like really holding our own within the ACC.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. Who's your first game on the 10th?
VCU.
Okay, so
And
you're
then we
home.
play JMU on the 14th. So
Nice.
fun. Uh-huh.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I know what me
More
and
like
Ryan
Galentine's
on
Day.
Valentine's Day. Yeah. I know what we're doing on Valentine's Day now. We got
Yeah.
plans. We got something to watch. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Our next question is from at sgal516. Liv, were you always first team everything growing up, or what were some obstacles along the way? I think this is a really important question.
I do too.
Yeah, so let's hear it.
No, not at all. I was like the extreme underdog. I did not have like many accolades growing up, and I think that's important, um, like just because you get accolades doesn't mean that, like it would translate to the next level or like even like high school accolades, like I didn't have like yeah, like I did great my senior year and stuff like that, but not really for lacrosse, it was more for like basketball and soccer. So um that's like a very big like misconception, I believe, like is like getting so many accolades in high school and then like you're like, oh, like in college, like it was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's important to, just like work hard and even if you don't get accolades, it's still okay, and you still have a lot to be proud of and a lot to work for.
Mm, so well said. I'm not even going to add anything to that. I like that. This one is from at Nay RJ23 on Instagram. At what age did you know for sure you would play D1?
I didn't, like I was fortunate enough in my recruiting process to get reached out by Division I coaches, and that's really when the opportunity presented itself for me. So it's not that I knew I was gonna for sure play D1. It was more of having that opportunity and being fortunate enough for that. So it's something I'm really grateful for.
Yeah, I appreciate that answer because I think so many people go into the recruiting process like, I have to go D1, right? I
Yeah.
have to. And it's like, that's not how we should go into it. We should have lists of schools that we're interested in and that intrigue us from all the divisions, club opportunities, like wherever you could potentially see yourself. And go through it like that, really open mind. So I appreciate that answer. Kind of
Yeah,
like,
I'm just gonna add one thing, like
yeah.
especially starting so late. Like I was only playing lacrosse for 2 years at that point before my recruiting process began. So I was never like, oh, I'm gonna for sure like play D1. It was something that I was really like excited and over the moon about when I was like reached out by those coaches.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. And I think it's so important. These questions are so important. So thanks, shout out
Hmm.
to the KO17 fam for these.
Yeah, I agree. They're great.
The next one here is from Who's Rye, IDK her, 1715. A big fan of KO17 lacrosse and Dream on Pod. This is a really important question as well. If you ever had self-doubt, how did you get over it?
Yeah, like the battles of ups and downs of starting so late, and like the recruiting process is so stressful. It was like, is this supposed to be my journey? Like, am I supposed to be taking this path? Is lacrosse really going to be my end goal? And overcoming it, like I remember like that like month or two where I was like really like stressed, and I think it was like during my recruiting process, it was like I just went out and played ball for half an hour to an hour. Like that's like really how like I like relieved my stress. But in the same moment, I got over it by saying, okay, I'm relieving my stress of like self-doubt and like if this is really meant for me by playing lacrosse.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, I think that like really sat with me, and like came to a realization like I could be, going out and shooting hoops in my driveway, or, like going to juggle a soccer ball, but no, like I picked up my stick instead and went to the wall. And I think that like sat a lot with me and like really resonated with me when I realized that like I was like, okay, like I really want to do this if I'm relieving my stress of self-doubt by
Yeah.
playing lacrosse.
Mm. So finding your passions and things is really
Mm-hmm.
helpful when it comes to self-doubt and like really leaning into them in moments where you're struggling with that.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Amazing. Okay, last one from our KO17 fam from D9430. Is it true that speed is everything in lacrosse?
I would say like half. I would
Mm.
say like speed, like to get up field and like push transition, like yes, 100%. But I think when you're looking at like sevens and like small-sided, like settled offense, like speed isn't really anything. Um, like physically, I think then you have to look at stick work wise, and you need like very quick stick work. You need very quick hands. You need to release your shot very fast. So I think if you want to incorporate speed with that perspective, I think like then yes, if you want to like look at it more like lacrosse and physically, but physically I would say like half and half.
Yeah. I think that's a cool perspective there. I'd never even thought of it. Like having quick hands on a switch or releasing your shot
Hmm.
quickly. Like, yeah, that counts as speed technically,
Hmm.
right? So that's a cool way to look at it. I like it. All right, we're finishing up here. Almost done, and then you can go on with your day and crush practice and school and all the things you have to do. Um, but we like to end on a fun note here, just like we do
Hmm.
with all of our clinics and everything like that. So we're
Hmm.
gonna do a little round of quick finishes. If you feel like your answers need an explanation, some of our guests like to go into 2-minute explanations, or you could go rapid fire answers. Totally up to you. Okay. All right. What is your favorite candy?
Skittles.
Ooh, quick one. That's my pregame one too.
I
Nice.
I do
Pregame.
too. Handful of Skittles.
So do I.
I have Skittles here right now. They came in my I got like a little bag. It's like on my desk. Yeah, I know.
Skittles
But
sponsors, please.
I love Skittles, please. Um, but yeah, we got like a little like care package. I won them in class, so like we got like a little care package, and she's like, "Oh, like what's your favorite candy?" And I was like, "Skittles." So I just like took them out of my backpack when I got my computer.
That's amazing. That was like perfectly timed. I'm submitting it to Skittles for sponsorship. So thanks so much. All right, what is the best TV show in your opinion?
Oh, I'm a huge Grey's Anatomy fan, but I've
Ooh,
been watching Scandal, which
nice.
is really good. So I'm gonna have to say both of those.
Okay. Grey's Anatomy for like overall, like, yeah,
Like I
okay.
could put it on anytime and just like
Yeah.
watch it.
If you need a good cry or if you just need to like watch
Yeah.
a show, okay.
Uh-huh. I love Grey's Anatomy.
Me too.
And Scandal's so good. It's so entertaining.
I haven't watched it yet,
It's
so
so good. It's on Hulu.
okay. All right, cool. Thanks. What is one of your or who is one of your favorite athletes to follow for inspiration?
Inspiration, I'm gonna go with you. But
Thank you.
overall, I love Derek Jeter.
Ooh, good one.
I love him. He's like been like I've like followed him since I was like a little kid. Like
Yeah,
he was like my favorite Yankee. Um, so yeah, like I
definitely
lived like a lot of my life with his quotes and stuff. So
him. That's a cool one. Definitely unique. And I can agree. I remember when I was in like third grade, I think I read his like first book and
hmm
it was like this, it was very small.
hmm
So I think it was tailored for young readers, but
hmm
same thing. It was like one of those athletes that was just surrounding us, right? With like
hmm
New York sports. So
super. Yeah, and
mhm.
like even like watching like the Captain series, like
Yeah.
I learned like a lot of like leadership and like motivation, inspiration. So I think a lot of that, like I think he's just a really good person to look to.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. All right, we went through your breakfast meal already.
hmm
Is that your go-to from this morning?
Yeah, like every day, like it's usually like egg whites and stuff. But like if I'm home, I love a good New York bagel.
Ooh,
Like an egg
what's
everything,
your order?
bacon, egg, and cheese. But scratch the cheese, add avocado.
Wow. Salt,
Yeah.
pepper, ketchup or no?
Mm-mm.
No.
Just
Okay.
egg everything, bacon and egg with avocado.
Wow.
It's so good.
Makes me want to get to Long Island and get one of those right now.
Yeah, you should.
You should. You're like, I can't, so you should.
Yeah, you should. Have a slice of pizza for me while you're there too.
Okay. Starbucks or Dunkin'?
Starbs, for sure.
Starbs. Okay. Are you a beach girl or a mountains girl?
Well, I'm from the beach, technically, in Long Island, but now live in the mountains in
Stuff.
Blacksburg. But I'm gonna have to go with the beach.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go with the beach. I love being tan.
Okay, that's true. Summertime is a good time.
I love the summer, yeah, and the
Okay.
beach.
What
Water.
is your favorite jersey number to rep and why?
Um, I had a lot of different numbers in high school. I'm very even, so like I love even numbers.
Mm,
So I'd say I wore two for a very long time because of Derek Jeter.
mhm.
I'm now number four. So I would have to say like bias to that. I love four. A lot of my teammates call me four.
Yeah,
Um,
I do
so
too on accident sometimes.
yeah, it's just like my name. I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. I also wore 16 for a while. And then 34. So those are really my big numbers.
Those are all like multiples of each other too. So like,
hmm
two turn into four, times four is 16.
16 and then
34 just has a four in it. I don't
yeah,
know.
I know. So yeah, I'm like a very big even number.
Yeah.
Of the evens.
You know what we just did there? I think that's called athlete math. Not
Yeah,
girl.
I think
It's
so.
just like athlete math where you like make sense of the jersey numbers. You're like, yeah, this fits. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
We started a new thing there. All right, last but not least, before we let you get on with your day, what is one thing on your bucket list?
This is like lame, but like travel.
Okay.
I
Where do you
love to
go?
travel. Well, my family went to Hawaii when I was a junior in high school, and I stayed home for my county basketball game, my county championship. So I would love to go back there or go there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so I'm gonna have to say Hawaii, but other than that, I think I want to go to Italy.
Nice.
Hmm.
Well, both spots on my list too. So guess
Yeah.
we'll have to make something happen there. But
Yeah.
yeah, listen, I think this was a really inspirational episode. I think, like I said, it's awesome to have you on in the middle of your preseason, heading into a big year. Talking a lot about like a special team that you're on right now. You guys have like a special future ahead in the next couple months. But thank you so much for coming on, and always for what you're doing with the KO17 fam and inspiring us all, not only with your story, but with what you continue to do out on the field and off of it. So thank you so much. I hope everyone here, gets to watch you ball out this season. Look for number 4 on Virginia Tech. She's number 4, but Liv, seriously, thank you so much. This was awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was awesome and loved doing it.
Yeah, anytime. We'll have you back on anytime. We'll talk more athlete math. All
Yes,
right.
sure.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. We will see you next time on the Dream On Pod.